All right, guys, we're gonna start our class. Welcome, everyone. Yesterday, somebody asked me for a list of verbs that are followed by a gerund or an infinitive. So you already have the list on Schoology. You click on the folder that says extra vocabulary, and you'll find the PDF. Okay, so right there you have the vocabulary, so you can study some verbs that are followed by a gerund and some verbs that are followed by an infinitive. Okay, as I told you yesterday, this topic has some exceptions, but we're going to study the exceptions later. Okay, later on. But in order to start the class, I want you to go to Schoology and click on the folder that says extra practice. And then click on the file that says true or false.
Sorry, teacher. In what menu? Extra vocabulary.
No. Go to week number 1. Well, actually, open the 2 files, please. Open the file that says gerunds and infinitives. That is in the folder extra vocabulary. And the second file that you need to open is the one that is in the folder that says extra practice. True or false? So open both of them, please.
True or false PDF? And
Yes.
It's more easy download archive or online.
Excuse me, Milton?
Download archive or online.
No. I think it's not necessary to download it. It's not necessary. Do you have them?
okay, are two files.
Yes. Open
Gerunds
the 2 of them.
are gerunds and infinitive in
Yes.
extra vocabulary and
True or false?
okay. In week 1.
Yeah, week one.
Extra practice.
Yes.
True or false?
True or false? Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Done.
So in order to have this activity, guys, first we're going to classify these verbs, right? These verbs. We're going to classify the verbs that are followed by a gerund and the verbs that are followed by an infinitive. The ones that you have in the PDF that says true or false. Okay? So focus on that PDF, right? True or false. We're going to classify, all right, these verbs. So, Kari, what is the first verb?
Boy.
Missing.
What is the first verb that you have right there? Do you have the PDF, Kari?
Yes, and the true or false.
Yes, true or false. Okay. The first verb is?
riding.
Avoid,
No.
right? Avoid is the first verb. Okay,
Mm.
so avoid.
In the page 2, teacher.
Yeah, in the second page, right? The second page,
Second page,
sorry,
avoid.
sorry. Yeah, the second page. Yeah, focus on the verbs, second page. So the first verb is avoid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so avoid is followed by a gerund. Avoid is followed by a gerund. Do you know what avoid? Do you know what avoid means? Do you know the meaning of this verb?
Evitar,
Excuse me, Kevin.
evitar. Avoid is evitar.
I don't hear you well.
Avoid is evitar.
Exactly. All right. When you prevent something, okay, that is avoid. When you prevent something. So avoid is followed by a gerund, okay? For example, I avoid having problems. I avoid having problems. So avoid is followed by a gerund. What about the second verb? What about the second verb? Start.
So,
Is start followed by a gerund or infinitive? Is start followed by a gerund or infinitive? You can check the other list that you have. You can check the other PDF.
Is infinity.
Check the other PDF, the list that you have. Is a start followed by a gerund or infinitive?
It's infinitive.
Start, guys, can be followed by a gerund or infinitive, and the meaning is the same. The meaning doesn't change.
It's the same this word.
Exactly.
Start.
Right? So a start can be followed by an infinitive or a gerund, and the meaning is the same. It doesn't change. Right? So what about the next one? What about the next verb? Enjoy. Enjoy is followed by a gerund or infinitive? By a gerund. Enjoy is followed by a gerund all the time. What about regret? What about regret? Check the list, check the list. And tell me if regret is followed by a gerund or infinitive. Or both.
What is regret? What is ¿Cómo se pronuncia?
Reread. Reread.
¿Y significa?
The meaning.
What is the meaning of reread? Why don't you take a look at the examples that you have? The examples that you have on the list. You have some examples right there. Words with a different meaning. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, look at this. You have the same file, okay? Words with a different meaning, okay? Reread. Reread can be followed by an infinitive to say, or can be followed by a gerund. Okay? When are you going to use reread followed by an infinitive? With regard to the future. Okay, when you are talking about, or when you are referring to the future, you use reread followed by an infinitive. For example, I reread to say that's wrong. And you have right here the translation. Okay, the meaning of reread is this one. Okay, that is the meaning. Okay, and you use reread, followed by a gerund when you are referring to the past. For example, I reread saying that. Okay, and you have right here the translation. Okay. So reread can be followed by a gerund or infinitive, okay, for both. Okay, what about the next verb?
Need.
Need, okay. Is need followed by a gerund or infinitive?
Infinity.
Okay. Need is followed by an infinitive all the time, okay? All the time, guys. What about the next verb? Stop. If you take a look at the list that you have right there, stop can be followed by a gerund or infinitive. Yes? Okay, when are you going to use a stop followed by a gerund? When are you going to use a stop followed by a gerund? Okay, look at this. Look at the chart that we have right here. So a stop can be followed by an infinitive or by a gerund. Okay, when you use a stop followed by an infinitive,
When interrupt
When-
another action.
When exactly, when an action is interrupted by another action. For example, I stopped to smoke, right? And you have right here the translation, okay? Probably I was walking, right? Probably I was running and all of a sudden I stopped. Why? To smoke, okay? So, but when you're going to use a stop followed by a gerund, when you are talking about that an action finished, that an action is over, okay? When you say that you're not going to do the action one more time, okay? For example, I stop smoking, all right? What does it mean? That I don't smoke anymore. Okay, you see the difference? You see the difference, guys?
En infinitivo es una acción que realizamos. Y el gerundio es como más algo que no realizamos, digamos, solo es para, digamos, yo terminé la tarea o paré la tarea para hacer algo más. Así lo entiendo yo.
In that case, you use a stop followed by an infinitive, right? Because an action is interrupted by another action. So in that case, you use a stop followed by an infinitive. But you use a stop followed by a gerund when you say that you don't do that action anymore. Okay? I stopped smoking. It means that in the past, I smoked, but in the present, not anymore. Okay, that's the difference. Do you catch the difference, guys?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, and you have right here the translation for the sentences. Okay. All right, so stop is followed by a gerund and also by an infinitive. What's the next verb?
Mine.
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 Mine. Okay, mine is followed by a gerund or infinitive. I
Gerund.
don't mind. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So
Gerund.
mine is followed by a gerund. Okay, all the time, a gerund. Okay, what about the next verb? Keep.
Keep.
Okay, keep is followed by a gerund or infinitive.
Keep.
Gerund.
Gerund.
Infinity.
Gerund.
Gerund. Okay, look at this. Let's look at the list. Oh, you have it right here. Look. Verbs followed by a gerund. Keep. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep is followed by a gerund. Do you know the meaning of keep?
Guarda. No.
Mantener. No.
Yes.
Keep your calm.
Gerund. I keep, for example,
Keep your calm.
I keep,
Keep your calm.
but remember that you need to use two verbs.
Okay.
You need to use two verbs in the same sentence. I keep a I keep being I keep, for example, I keep being a good worker at the office. I keep being a good worker at the office. So it means that you are a good worker at the office pretty much all the time. Okay, what about the next verb? Practice. Is practice followed by a gerund or infinitive?
Infinity.
Zero.
Practice is followed by
Gerald.
Is zero.
a gerund. Yes. Okay, what about dread? What about dread?
Zero.
What is the meaning of dread? What is the meaning of dread?
Y a ver, pues le voy a decir cuando traiga la base. La base es mi cobertura.
Can you put your microphone on mute, please? Okay, so what is the meaning of dread?
How teacher?
Dread or dream?
Dread.
Dread. The pronunciation is dread.
Dread.
Mhm. Okay, the meaning of dread, guys, is when you feel very worried about something that might happen.
Favor.
Yes, that might happen, or something that is going to happen. All right, so dread is followed by a gerund.
Sorry, what is dread? What is the significance of dread?
The meaning,
Favor.
when you are very worried about something that is going to happen. When you are,
It's zero.
yes, it's followed by a gerund. Okay, it's followed by a gerund. So, for example, I dread seeing my ex-girlfriend. Okay. An example, I dread seeing my ex-girlfriend. So I am worried about that. Probably I don't want to see my ex-girlfriend anymore. So that's why I feel worried.
Why? Why?
It's just an example, guys. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. Okay.
The toxic past.
Okay. All right. What's the next verb? Have.
Have.
Have is followed by a gerund or infinitive.
Zero.
Have.
Oh, no, sorry. No.
I have to go. I
It's
have to eat.
infinitive.
Okay, infinitive is followed by an infinitive. Okay. Have is followed by an infinitive. Yes, all the time, all the time, all the time. Yes. What about try?
Is
What about
infinitive.
try?
Infinitive. Infinitive.
Infinitive
It's
or
two. It's both. It's both.
yes, exactly. Try is followed by an infinitive or gerund. Okay, when are you going to use try followed by a gerund and when you're going to use try followed by an infinitive?
When on something complicated and infinity.
Look at the
When
chart. Look at the chart.
on
So,
something complicated.
When you do something complicated, all right, you use try followed by an infinitive, okay? Or for example, when you are trying to do something that is difficult to solve, okay? All right. For example, right there you have on the chart you have an example. Try to solve this riddle, and you have the translation right there. Okay, look at this. When you do something complicated, try to solve this riddle, right? You have the translation right here. And when you use try followed by a gerund, when you do something to see what happens. Okay, try talking to him, right? This is a kind of a suggestion. This is a kind of suggestion. This is a kind of advice when you give some recommendation. Okay, like for example, if you tell me, hey teacher, it's difficult for me to understand English when some people are
Yes.
talking. Okay, so I say, all right, try listening to a try listening to different conversations or dialogues. Okay, so I'm giving you a recommendation. So I use try followed by a gerund. Okay, but when we are talking about doing something that is complicated, so we use try followed by an infinitive. For example, I try to study Mandarin, but the language is very difficult, so I never learned. But I try to study. I try to learn the language, but it never happened. Okay, I'm not talking about recommendation, but when you talk about a recommendation, you use try followed by a gerund. Okay.
I try to swim the lake Coatepeque.
You try to swim.
Mm-hmm.
You try to swim in Coatepeque Lake.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So it's not a recommendation. You're not talking about recommendation. When you talk about recommendation, you use try followed by a gerund. Okay. What about the next verb? Detest. Well, avoid is repeated. Detest. Detest is the same as hate. Is detest followed by a gerund or infinitive?
What is the meaning, teacher?
Hate.
The taste.
Yes, detest is the same as hate.
Infinity.
Yes, The test is followed by a gerund. What do you detest doing, David?
I detest waking early.
Waking up early, okay? But you have to because you gotta work, all right? So I detest waking up early. It's like I hate, I don't like, right? So remember, what about remember? Remember can be followed by a gerund or infinitive. When you use remember,
Both.
follow, yes, for
It's
both. Yes. When you're going to use remember followed by a gerund, when you refer to the past. For example, I remembered closing the door. I remembered closing the door. I remembered closing the door. In this case, I'm referring to the past. If I say I remember closing the door, I remember that I did this action, but I'm not sure. Okay, I remember closing the door. And you use remember followed by an infinitive when you refer to the future. Remember to do your homework. Homework is for tomorrow. Okay, all right. So remember to do your homework. Remember to do your homework. Okay, what about the next verb? Want. Want is followed by a gerund or infinitive.
Infinitive.
Infinitive all the time, okay? Okay, stop is already mentioned. What about aim? Aim is followed by a gerund or infinitive. What do you think? Aim is followed by a gerund or infinitive.
Not on the list.
It's not on the list.
No.
Aim, guys, is followed by an infinitive. What is the meaning of aim? When you have the intention of doing something.
Una meta, no.
Yes, when you have an intention, right, to do something. Yes, when you have a specific objective.
I learn English.
Okay, you aim to learn English. That's your objective. Okay, that's your expectation. That's your target. Okay, so aim is followed by an infinitive. Okay, I aim to learn English, for example. Okay, what about miss? Is miss followed by a gerund or infinitive?
Infinitive.
It's gerund.
Okay, so make a decision. Come to an agreement, gerund or infinitive?
Gerund.
Gerund, infinitive, gerund, infinitive.
And the list is gerund. And the list is
Gerund.
gerund.
Okay.
Gerund.
Is followed by a gerund. Okay. According to the list, is followed by a gerund.
Is gerund.
What is the meaning of miss? You know the meaning of this verb, right?
Perdido. Perder.
Perdida, perder.
When used for missing is gerund.
For example, I miss. No, not really. That's not the exact meaning. Like, but miss refers to something that you need, something that you used to do in the past, but for any other reason you're not doing it. Okay, now. So, for example, I miss going to the office. Now we are working from home, but I miss going to the office.
Extraño ir a la oficina.
Yes, exactly. I miss going to the office. No, it's not true, guys. It's just an example. I don't miss going to the office. I prefer to work from home.
And what difference miss for forget?
Forget is the opposite of remember.
It's different.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you miss something, yes, if you miss something, you are talking about a feeling. You're talking about a feeling, guys. All right, you're talking about feeling. I miss going to the office. And forget is the opposite of remember. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's move to the next verb. Yes, tell me.
What is the difference in the missing for object or missing for a sentiment
a feeling. Oh, it all depends on the context, right? This verb has two different meanings. One is this one. I miss going to the office. So in this case, I'm talking about a feeling, right? A feeling. But also you can say, Jocelyn is missing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Jocelyn is missing.
I am here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Jocelyn. I thought you were missing, Jocelyn.
Okay.
Okay. All right. But Jocelyn was missing yesterday.
It's good example.
Yes.
Okay. In this case, I'm talking about an absence. I'm not talking about a feeling. So this verb has two meanings. So, but it all depends on the context. Okay?
I got it.
Okay, all right, perfect. Let's continue with the next one. What is the next one? Right quick, forget.
Forget.
Okay, forget. Is forget followed by an infinitive or by a gerund or
both?
Or by both?
Both. It's both.
Okay. Gerund or infinitive. Okay, let's see the chart. Let's see for both. Okay, forget. Forget, look at this. Forget.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're going to use forget followed by an infinitive? When you refer to the future. When you're going to use forget followed by a gerund. When you refer to the past. For example, well, in this case, you have an example only with remember. But an example might be, don't forget, okay? Don't forget to
Promise?
turn, don't forget to
The key of cars.
turn off, okay, turn off the lights when you leave home,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to turn off the lights when you leave home. Okay, this sentence refers to the future, okay? But when you refer to the past, you use forget followed by a gerund. An example, I forgot turning off the lights. I forgot turning off the lights. Okay, so this action refers to the past. I forgot.
Teacher.
Yes, tell me.
If use forget in the future is infinitive, and use in past is gerund.
Can you please repeat? Repeat.
If use forget to future is infinitive.
Yes.
If use in past is gerund.
Is followed by a gerund, yes. Okay. All right, what about plan? Plan is followed by a gerund or infinitive?
Infinitive.
Infinitive. Okay, I plan to go to the beach this weekend. All right, infinitive. Begin. What about begin? Is followed by a gerund or infinitive?
Gerund.
Or infinitive.
Gerund or infinitive?
In.
Or for both?
Not on the list.
Or it's on the list. Words follow either by infinitive or gerund. Begin. You can say, You attempt, begin,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. So begin is followed by a gerund or an infinitive, and the meaning is exactly the same. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're referring to the past. It doesn't matter if you're referring to the future.
Don't import.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. So gerund and infinitive. You know the meaning of begin, right?
Iniciar.
Yes, it's the same as start.
Empezar.
Yes. Okay, what about,
Teacher,
yeah, tell me.
I don't understand begin. Please, example for difference in gerund and infinitive.
Okay, I mean, actually, there's no difference. In meaning, there's no difference.
It's the same.
Yes, it keeps the same meaning. So, for example, I can say I begin to work at 7 p.m. I begin working at 7 p.m. And the meaning is exactly the same. You got it?
I got it.
Okay.
For me.
I got it.
All right.
This is only. Este es el único que es igual en las dos formas, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Me refiero a que no hay diferencias de tiempos ni de algún otro tipo de condición.
Exactly. You're right. Okay. What about consider? Is consider followed by a gerund or infinitive?
Sorry?
Is consider followed by a gerund or infinitive? Consider.
But. In R2 is used in future and past.
Another the list, maybe. Consider.
Consider is followed by, I think it's not on the list, right, guys?
Not on the list, maybe.
Okay, but consider is followed by a gerund, guys. Consider is followed by a gerund all the time. Consider. Consider working overtime so you can make more money. And what about the next verb? Well, the last one, dislike. Dislike is followed by a gerund or infinitive?
Dislike.
Is gerund.
Gerund.
Yes, dislike is followed by a gerund. Okay, there you go. Okay, well, guys, now that you know the classification for these verbs, and you already know which verbs are followed by a gerund and which verbs are followed by an infinitive, I'm going to split the class into 2 groups, okay? And you're going to work on these verbs, okay? The verbs that you have right there in the PDF, okay? True or false, okay? What you're going to do is this. You're going to make sentences. You're going to choose 7. You're going to choose 7 verbs. 7 verbs from the list, only 7. Okay? You're going to choose 7 verbs from the list, and you're going to make sentences about yourself, but only 7 sentences as a group, not per person. okay, per group. 7 sentences per group, not per person.
Okay.
Okay, but
Okay.
you need
Good,
to
good.
you need to make true and full sentences. True and full sentences.
Okay.
Okay. But be realistic. Okay, be realistic. Okay, for example, tell me.
For example, 4 false and 3 future. Or 7.
Okay, it's all up to you. Okay, it's all up to you. If you want to make only 3 full sentences, it's okay. If you want to make 4 full sentences, it's okay. All right, it's all up to you. But
Okay.
your seven sentences can be or have to be true and false. Okay, so I'm going to create 2 groups, two breakout rooms, and I'm going to give you some minutes so you can work on it. Remember, 7 sentences per group, not per person. Join the group, please. Join the group.
Will we evaluate?
Keep going.
All right, let's see. So right quick, we're not going to go over all of the sentences because of the time, but we're going to go over some of the sentences you have. Okay, group number 1 is going to say the sentences, and group number 2 is going to say if the sentence is true or false, okay? And vice versa. So I'm going to start with group number one. Let's see. Milton.
Tell me.
Okay, say one of your sentences, please, and the other team is going to guess if the sentence is true or false.
Okay. And share secret. Or the real.
Read. I mean, any of the sentences you have.
Okay. Robert needs to go on vacation to Europe to see his family.
Okay. Team number two, what do you think? You think it's true or false?
False.
Why?
Pandemia. We are in panic. En pandemia todavía están cerrados.
So you think it's false?
Kids don't care.
But you don't know if he has family in Europe.
Sí, pero hay coronavirus.
¡Qué turbio!
So you think it's true or false? Team number two?
False.
False. Okay. All right, Milton, is that true or false?
It's true.
It's true. Ah. It's true. Okay, all right. Team number two. Kevin, read one of your sentences.
Okay. Kevin needs to learn Mandarin.
Repeat.
False.
False.
False. False. Sí, claro. False.
No lo sé.
Honestly.
Totalmente false.
Gracias, Kevin.
I can't believe it.
Thank you so
No.
much, Kevin.
Kevin, is that true or false? It's false. Okay, all right. So team number two has a point already. Okay, Gabby.
Gracias por el voto de confianza, compañero.
I believe in you, but it's not probable.
Of course.
It's
Okay,
not
Gabby,
possible.
your sentence.
I can remember the sentence. But
True. It's true. It's...
The sentence in
I know.
is
I
chat.
know. It's a,
Okay. Luis enjoys making troubleshooting for computer system.
Going.
What?
And the chat.
Luis enjoys making troubleshooting for computer system. True or false?
False.
True.
What do you think? True? Is it true or false?
Cesar knows. Tell
Everybody
us.
is happy. We're showing.
We know.
Guys, you think it's true or false? Tell me.
True.
False.
True. Is that true, guys?
False.
False.
It's false.
False.
3 points.
It's false. It's false. Okay, all right. Edgar,
Tell me.
your sentence.
Okay. I try the going the church with my mother.
I tried.
No sé, no estoy muy seguro. Si sería to go or going
To go.
the church with my mother.
Try.
To go.
I
tried.
tried to go.
Okay. I try to go the church with my mother.
Okay. Guys, what do you think? You think it's true or false?
False.
True.
True.
You think it's true? I think it's true.
True.
I think it's true. Edgar, is it true or false?
It's true.
It's true. Okay, all right. And the last one. Let's see, Caddy, your sentence.
George always has to cook for his wife.
Wow.
Okay. George always has to cook for his wife. True or false? You think it's true or false?
False.
I am a governor.
Luis, ¿vos por qué estás diciendo?
Never in a million years.
George, is that true or false?
Ya no comió.
False.
It's false.
It's false. You never cook, George, for your wife.
Never in a million years.
I don't cook. I make a poison.
False forever.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna continue tomorrow. It's a little bit late, and I have another class. Let's go over the attendance right quick. Say present if you hear your name. Okay. Luis Amaya. Luis Amaya.
Present, present.
Okay. Milton Castro.
Present.
Jorge Razo.
Sorry, I am cooking.
Denis Gonzalez. Denis Gonzalez. Denis.
You're lying.
Okay, Denis. Edgar Guardado.
Present, teacher.
Kevin Melendez.
Present.
David Mengíbar.
Present, teacher.
Luis Molina.
Present, teacher.
Gabriela Montano.
Present, mister.
Lizeth Moss.
Present.
You're being quiet, Jocelyn. What happened? Daniel Orellana.
Present, teacher.
Okay. César Pérez.
Present, teacher.
Samuel Ramírez.
Present.
Karina Rosales.
Present.
José Rutilio.
Who is Jocelyn?
José Rutilio.
Present.
What?
Roberto Santos. Roberto
Present,
Santos.
Present.
Okay, and Alfredo Solórzano. Missing. Okay. All right, guys. This is it for today's lesson. We're gonna continue tomorrow. Okay, have a great night.
Okay, teacher.
The great night you. The great night you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.